You've gone quiet on me.
Have I?
It was the river thing, right? You thought I was perfect and now I've blown it.
Get over yourself. No one ever said you were perfect.
Ouch. What is it? Hey.
What?
Talk to me.
You know what scares me?
What?
You do?
What do you mean?
I mean, not you exactly, but the way I feel about you scares me.
And how do you feel?
I think you know the answer to that.
I'd like to hear it.
I'm completely and hopelessly in love with you. I mean, I'm not saying yes to babies or anything. It's not.
I love you too.
Simon and Sophie, hello. My name is Sophie Dillman. I play Ziggy on Home and Away, although I think you guys might know that because you have a Home and Away podcast.
Hello and welcome. This is Coastal News, a Home and Away podcast where we unpack the latest week's episodes and discuss the residents, their lives, and all the drama from our favourite fictional town, Summer Bay. Hello everybody, welcome back to another instalment of Coastal News, a Home and Away podcast. I'm Si. I'm joined by oh no, I've messed it up. Self-promoted co-host turned PEX inspector, Sophie. How are you doing? I knew I'd messed that up. I over-rehearsed it in my mind.
That's hilarious.
Are you okay?
I'm good, thank you. How are you doing?
I'm all right. I'm okay. What a week again.
I know.
We've just been saying before recording, how are we going to fit this in? We'll give it a go. Highs of this week in the Bay for you, Sophie?
Oh, it's got to be Flick and Tane. I'm sorry, I'm all over that.
Did you see my
gotta
tweet?
be.
I was like, everybody's undercarriage is doing something right now.
Yeah, twinging. Like,
Dale can hike, I tell you.
I know, especially in like cocktail dress or whatever.
We'll come on to that. There's loads gone on this week. Or we talk about romance, talk about drama, talk about first mention of construction. So
I heard that's tonight. I'm in the building. I was like, hello, Irene. I heard that. Yeah.
Do you want your headlines?
Yes.
So Mac hosts another poker night but struggles to conceal it this time. Mia's plans to leave the Bay alter. Flick and Tane have got something to say to each other.
Oh.
And whilst in need of a change of kidney, Martha instead has a change of heart.
Excellent. I like that one.
So Mac and Logan, they're back, fresh face, full of wine and cheese from the Hunter Valley at the top of the week, and full of all stuff for Ziggy and Dean because they must have spent an absolute fortune at this wine, this wine place in the Hunter Valley. So, all just to distract and throw Logan off the scent, but doesn't really work, does it? Max straight back to work and she's straight into the next planning of the next impromptu poker night. And Flick pulls out all the stops. She says, you've got a good reputation, let's do it. She's got some trepidations at first, hasn't she? It's a bit too soon.
Yeah.
You're doing this a bit too fast. But girl needs money, doesn't she?
Yeah.
And she pulls it together anyway.
Yeah.
And we go into another Jennifer Aniston, just go with it, poker night that comes together out of nothing right away. Much like the first time, I thought, really.
It was
It's
very
pretty
much
much
like the first time, wasn't it? Yeah.
like for like, really.
Yeah. Wasn't it?
Same,
Although I
same
guess
faces.
without Flick there to start it off, that was the only difference. I guess we had Ziggy, didn't we, instead?
Well, yeah, because Flick, I mean, Flick pulls out. Tane's got a lot going on with Mia. We'll come on to in a moment.
Yeah.
Family stuff. So Flick has pulled out. Well, so far anyway. And Max left man down, and she. I mean, in that blue two-piece, she and them heels manages to leg it to the farm. He didn't go unnoticed. Runs in there. Ziggy, I need your help. Did I not say last week?
You did, and you know
Who's
what?
that gonna be?
I laughed because I just didn't see it happening. I couldn't see Ziggy
In her
getting on.
overalls.
No, I forget that she's pretty glam when she wants to be. I just forgot because she's obviously like her character's quite tomboyish, isn't she?
Yeah.
Really. So I was like, no, not Ziggy. But then, yeah, she totally pulled it out of the bag. I thought she was great.
Yeah, I thought she tucked it like a duck to water.
She
And
did.
Matt did as well. She said she's doing fab. She's great with the
Yeah.
puns because there was all these little quick lines, weren't they? Like, make sure you keep him this when the game's ready at the right opportune moment, nip him with the drinks. And she really took it really well, didn't she?
Yeah.
And while all this is going, I mean, she's reluctant to get involved because she does pull Max aside when she turns up and she's like, okay, this is not a hen do.
No.
Or a box party.
stew.
If you can keep up with whatever it was supposed to be. And quickly it's like, I'll only agree to do this if you tell Dean.
Yeah.
I'm not lying to him. And I thought that's what, good on you.
Yeah.
Good on you, Ziggy, because I just thought, and Mac even says it a bit later on, when Flick and Tane change their mind and turn up. I've now dragged Ziggy, now she's lying to her fella. This is snowballing, So I thought Ziggy was quite clever there, in saying, I will do it, but we're telling Dean the second it's done. I don't think I think Mac probably was just saying anything to make her agree to it. Whether she would have followed through with that, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, she didn't get a chance to tell him anyway, did she? So we will never know.
No.
He kind of walked in and saw it all for himself. So.
Yeah, like a Tory in a food bank. Like, oh God. It was like, oh God.
Oh dear.
Because he's at a loose end. It's a theme of these last few episodes.
I know. I think I tweeted. I was like, "What's wrong with all the men in the bay? As soon as there are the halves unavailable, they just don't know what to do with themselves, do they?" He was like, "Oh, what do I do? I need beer and I need pizza. Oh, no Mac." I was like, "God, get a hobby."
And it's the only place to get beer and pizza from in the bay. They should be raking it in.
Exactly. And
how much is a beer in a restaurant? Like salt?
Why is it shut if it's so busy?
Was it you who said this needs to? Why is there no door? Where's the door? Where's the bouncer?
Yeah, I know you can't close the stairs off, but there is a door at the top of the stairs, right? Why can't they lock that door like a lock-in? Like they would at night? Like, I don't get why people are wandering in. It doesn't make sense. But obviously, they have to wander in to make the story happen. So, we'll have to go with it. But
yeah, well, he hits the roof. Dean turns up mid poker, mid illegalness.
Yeah.
And he hits the roof, doesn't he? And he says to Ziggy, "This is dangerous. Do you think these?" And she's like, "No, it's happened. Everything's fine. Everyone's having a good night." He's like, "Look at these people. They've come to an illegal poker night."
Yeah.
And he says the words, "When these people lose big, things get really bad, really fast." And that's a head stead warning to us. That something bad's coming, isn't it?
Yeah. I wonder what would have happened, because Tane beat that Nathan guy to start with, and then Nathan's mate, was it Jack or something?
Jack, yeah, another one now's been introduced.
Yeah, two named. So we know they're important for some reason. So if this Jack guy hadn't won Tane's money, what do you think would have happened then? Do you think that would have been a bad scenario?
I can't see Tane playing for lots, can you? He wasn't talking like he'd lost loads,
No,
was he?
I don't think he was. But then wasn't it a $500 pay-in?
Was it? I missed that.
I'm sure
That's
that's
a
what
lot.
Mac said. Mac and Flick were talking on the balcony about like before Flick dropped out. And Flick said something like, "These are high rollers. You need to get the top shelf drinks in, and then
Oh yeah.
we can charge $500 a buy-in or something." Now, how much is $500 in like proper money? I
Not
don't
Monopoly
know.
money.
Yeah,
Shall I have a look? I don't
yeah.
know. I was just a bit like, because
It
we're going
sounds
back
like
to
a
a
lot.
comment Macca made, like the other week on the podcast when he was on as a guest.
Yeah.
And it was like they've just done a community whip
Mm,
round for them, and he's in
yeah.
there gambling. I mean, if it's $500, I mean, what's dollars?
Because was it $10,000 they raised? I think it
Was it
was.
10,000? Yeah, but
Yeah,
what's he doing? You know.
I know.
Okay, it's
Gambling.
200. It's £283 at today's exchange rate.
Okay. So not a small amount, but
Enough to notice it's gone. Enough
yeah,
to notice you've lost it, isn't it?
yeah, definitely.
Mm, yeah, it doesn't sit right with me that, but it got them to him. I think them two being there and playing along will embroil them in whatever is to come.
Yeah.
I think is the big thing.
Mm.
And Flick just works the room. She loves it.
She's great. She's so
Yeah,
good. I love that
yeah.
comment. Did you hear what Ryder said when they walked in?
No. Oh, yeah.
When
I
he
did.
goes,
Yeah.
it's wrong how hot they look. I was like, oh, Ryder needs to lie down.
Someone get him a fan.
He wasn't wrong though. They did walk in like they
I
knew what they
know.
were doing, didn't they?
I know, and the whole thing just sexes everything up a bit, doesn't
It
it?
does, yeah. That was a
You
good
know.
entrance.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. I think we're heading towards Dean's forewarned us now.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna lose something. Someone's gonna get angry at someone.
Yeah.
It's probably, it's gonna go down that route. Is my initial thoughts. How about you?
Yeah, it's got to go somewhere dangerous, hasn't it? Because it's Summer Bay, so it's not going to be like, oh yeah, we've won all the money we need for the restaurant, brilliant, and that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's going to be there's going to be some twists because it's got to be the danger storyline.
Yeah.
I think.
And I'm really shocked. Cash hasn't had wind of all this yet. I mean, he's busying himself elsewhere in the Bay, which we'll talk about later on in the show.
Yeah.
But I'm surprised he's not got wind of something going on in the only restaurant in town.
Yeah. Although everyone thinks it's a Bucks night or a Hens night. Even John was asking Dean the day after, didn't he? Like, oh, what happened? What happened last night? And Dean was like, "What, you want me to tell you about a Bucks night? Why are you so interested?"
Because John was like lurking around the surf club at like really late.
He was because he bumped into Justin as well, didn't he? Because Justin was like, "Oh no, my pizza!" Another one.
I tell you what I did like though, and we discussed Logan and this whole scenario, and you getting really wound up by him and everything. But this was it was Dean this week that was like, something's up. And Logan was like, let's just leave him to it. I've been there, done it, got the earache,
Yeah.
And I think I was really glad or relieved when he got paged or phone called to work just in the right time. Because I thought if he goes up there, it just, that whole merry-go-round's carrying on again.
And you knew what was going to happen. You knew you'd have me ranting at you for 20 minutes.
Yeah. Just like, thank God.
No earache for me.
So I was glad he's out of it. He's still in the dark at the minute, but I'm not quite sure what his reaction's going to be when he finds out half the Bay know.
Yeah, he's going to be cross that he didn't get told, but also I don't know, like
especially when she's gone to great lengths not to tell him.
Yeah, but I think he's got to realise why a doctor can't get involved in that stuff. Surely.
Yeah, but I don't think she's thinking like because he's a doctor.
Really?
I think she's just wanting him. I think she's thinking he's gonna have a go at her.
Yeah. Yeah, well, he will.
Yeah. Well, and this is she's handling the whole thing a right mess. This
Mm,
whole thing is just it's gonna be even worse now, isn't it? And
yeah,
bad feelings for them too when this all eventually comes out in the wash. You
yeah.
know,
I think we're going to see some fireworks. Yeah.
absolutely. Did you know that you can play Coastal News, a home and away podcast, right from your Amazon Alexa? Just say, Alexa, play Coastal News now. And of course, you can still catch your latest episodes on all other podcast apps, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, Castbox, Audible, Player FM, and much more. Just search Coastal News, a home and away podcast right now, wherever you get your podcasts from. Well, Chloe goes to work on her day off. Like,
Oh, Marilyn.
God.
Like, darling, you're not rostered on.
Well, I'm working anyway. She's like, okay.
Oh.
But when she said, "Can I give you some unsolicited advice?" I'm thinking, oh my
I
God.
loved that scene. I absolutely loved that scene. Because at first I was like, oh, here we go. Because we'd already seen Chloe get advice from other people, hadn't we? And it hadn't gone down very well. You know what Chloe's like. If you tell her what to do, she just explodes. So I was expecting Maz to be, like new Marilyn and give us some kind of like, oh, well, you need to just do this or whatever. But I thought it was really good, that scene. She said it a lot better than I would have said it. I think I tweeted you. I was like, I'd have just said, look, act like an adult, grow up.
Yeah, I did watch this scene because it involved Marilyn.
Yeah.
Anybody else I would have just forwarded. But, I wanted to find out because I thought, is it going to be Marilyn,
Yeah.
new Marilyn, as we're calling her, because she's had a lot of unsolicited advice for a lot of people lately. So I was a bit nervous as soon as that bit started. And actually, you're right. She said something and she eloquently put it, if you want to be an adult, you need to, act like one. But she said it in a way that was like, tell your mum you're capable of making decisions.
Yeah.
That you're able to make that decision to stay. Prove to her that you're, mature enough to make a decision that she's happy to do what she needs to do, and you can do what you need to do.
Yeah.
Whereas, AKA, grow up, act your age, and tell her what you want. Do you know what I mean? But you're right. The way she did it in a very Marilyn way.
She did it really well, I thought, because she didn't treat Chloe like a child. She in turn was treating Chloe like an adult, wasn't she? And I think that's what Chloe's not used to being treated like an adult, I think. And that's why she acts like the child, because everyone treats her like a baby, don't they, really?
Yeah, absolutely. And of course, then sends her home with a lunch. And and then finally, it spurs her to have the conversation with Mia.
Yeah.
Can you talk us through what happened in that conversation?
Did you fast forward? Okay, so they had a really nice scene. Actually, they were sitting at the side of the beach, and Chloe had asked her mum to meet her, and she got there and she was like, "Oh, thank you for coming to meet me." And I think they said something like, "This is where Ari used to like to sit and watch the sea." So Chloe said, "I like to sit here because it makes me feel like he's here. It makes me feel closer to him, and it makes me feel like." Not happy, because nobody's happy that he died, but you know what I mean, like a bit more comforted about the fact that she's got all these memories of him in the bay and she feels connected to him in the bay, and that's why she wants to stay there, because she feels closer to him. And Mia was coming from the other side and she was like, I feel exactly the same as you, but it's making me sad, and I've got all these memories and it's great, but it's just making me feel worse, and I feel like I can't cope. So Mia just wants to run away from the memories, run away from all those feelings, whereas Chloe wants to like embrace them, and she feels comforted by them, I guess. So it was like a nice scene about how they both feel, because they haven't really had that, have they? Haven't had that heart to heart where they've said what they feel and what each other's going through, and they both apologized to each other for messing up, and both of them said, "Oh no, it was me, I did this." So it was a nice scene. And it kind of got them to realise what was going on. So Chloe, the gist of it was really that Chloe said, if you've got to go, Mum, that's fine, but I'm not coming with you. But then later on, we had another scene. So that was on the beach, and that's kind of where we left it there. So it was like, looked like Mia was going to leave and Chloe was going to stay behind. And then later on, we saw them back at the house, and Mia had obviously had some more time to think. And she said, you know, if you're staying, I'm staying, and I'll just find a way to make it work.
All right. So Mia's agreed to stay.
Yeah. So I'm not sure how I feel about that, because I don't know. The way that she said it to Chloe, it sounded like, well, I don't have a choice because I can't leave you behind. And it was like, I don't think Chloe, you know, the whole thing that with Marilyn was like, you need to explain to your mum that you're okay, you're an adult, you can do this without her. And Mia didn't see it that way. She went away, thought about it, and came back and said, I can't leave the babe because you're here, so I'll just make it work. So she's still being her mum. She's still feeling like she has to be around. And Chloe didn't pick up on that. She just went, oh, okay. So it was a bit odd, because you can tell that Mia isn't happy about staying.
So Mia's only going to end up worse and worse, isn't she? Because
she's just pretending.
Yeah, she's putting a face on.
So
something we've said is a flaw of the character, really.
Yeah. Yes, that's what I was going to say. Sorry, I forgot this bit. So when they were by the beach, Mia actually started to get upset. She actually, because she was talking about Ari and how she felt, and you know, the fact that everywhere she looks, she sees him, and she can't cope with that. She's not comforted by it like Chloe is, and she looked like she was about to cry. But then you see her like realize she's about to cry in front of her daughter, and then she kind of bottles it up again and goes back to, no, I'm fine, I'm strong, and almost for a minute I felt sorry for her. But then when she started to back away from it, I was like, oh, here we go again.
So our theory then of why we can't get in there and feel for her is right, isn't it?
I think so, yeah. It felt like, okay, this is why, because the minute she started to show some vulnerability, she kind of, her whole attitude changed. And she was like, no, right, yeah, okay, well, we're fine. No, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, this is annoying. Like, if both of them had just been a bit more, it was because it was them the first time they were opening up. And I thought if they just did it a little bit longer, I think that could have been a lovely scene, but it was a bit, abrupt.
Yeah. Do you know, it's a scene that was probably needed as well, and maybe I'll go back to that after we've recorded this, because last week I was a bit like, did it happen off screen? You know, but it sounds like this was the sort of thing I was needing them to see, you know, to resolve why they were avoiding each other.
Yes.
For the past few weeks. But it doesn't sound like there has been any resolution, really. It sounds like Mia's again bottled up what she needs, what she feels.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's going to be a breaking point at some point, isn't there?
I think there is, because where can she go from here? I mean, she's already sleepwalking. She's already said that she's not coping. She said she felt like she was going crazy. Like, just because Chloe's decided to stay doesn't mean all of that is fixed for Mia. I just, I don't think this is the end. I think we'll see. And
haven't you, the comments about the town's haunting her? You know, she's not comforted by the memories of some of all the things that have been going on in Summer Bay.
Yeah,
it's not really helping her recovery. So, I think she's heading for. We know she's leaving, so inevitably she's going to break, isn't she? Yeah. Has she completed that sign over at the gym to Tane? Do we know?
It's in progress, and he had to sign a document which he was kind of refusing to do until she'd spoken to Chloe and all that sort of stuff. So I don't think it's actually legal yet. Right. So
she still owns the gym, and
I think so. Yeah.
So, but the paperwork's there, ready to go. Yeah. So the dots are lining up, aren't they, for this one?
Yeah.
What a shame though that every time they just get there, it doesn't happen. It's so frustrating.
It was so close. It was like, oh, she got vulnerable for a second then, but then as soon as she realised, she just kind of went, anyway, and it was like, oh, okay, here we go again.
Yeah. And no wonder we don't feel anything for her.
Yeah. Yeah, sorry, Mia.
So after all the, the poker sexiness and... naughty dim lights poker night. Tane and Flick think, let's go to the headland.
Yeah.
So off they go, as you do.
In your tux, yeah, why not?
And they sit and watch the sun come up or something?
Yeah, yeah,
Beautifully shot.
it
I
was
mean,
lovely. Yeah,
if you ever need an advert for how nice a setting,
yeah,
it's the best soap setting there is.
yeah.
No other soap comes close.
No,
And it's shots and scenes like this where they really take advantage of how beautiful
yeah,
Palm Beach is.
yeah,
Um, and why not show that off? I mean, it's the biggest asset of the show, you
yeah,
know.
yeah. Absolutely.
Um,
It was like a perfume advert or an aftershave advert. It was
yeah,
like,
and is it me? Did it have? Yeah, you're right. It had this weird effect on it. Um,
yeah,
it
it's
like a
like
filter or
golden.
something.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
a golden filter. Everything was like, pretty and lovely and
yeah.
romantic, and yeah, it was.
Tin City by Gucci.
It is.
Something.
Someone
Yeah.
needs to remix that. Someone get a clip of that and remix it with some perfume advert music. That'd be hilarious.
Um, and you
J'adore,
know,
j'adore, j'adore,
shut up, I
j'adore.
it was nice. It was a feast for the eyes,
It
shall we say?
was. Yeah, I was
And
loving it. Absolutely
and
loving
they're
it.
gushing over each other, aren't they?
Yeah.
And they've had a few too many top shelf, and and they're chatting away, and Flick says, "Wait here."
Yes.
Pottles off, comes back with breakfast picnic. He must have been up there hours waiting for her to come back.
I know. I was thinking, what if he needs a wee? So practical.
And he says something like, "Oh, I'm beginning to think you weren't coming back." I thought, bloody hell, I'd have been home by now,
I
mate.
know. I'd have been asleep on the hill by now. Crashed out. Oh dear.
I was trying to think of the last time we were up there
Oh
at the
gosh.
lighthouse filming. Was it
Ooh.
Indy? Did Indy go up there and scattered Romeo? No.
It's got to be. He's got to be.
Indy and Romeo said bye up there or something.
That was quite a long time ago. I bet we've been there since, haven't we?
I don't know. We don't.
Yeah, we don't go very often.
No, it's because it's such a trek. Well, Flick, not a problem for Flick.
In heels. Oh my gosh. Heels in a dress. Wow.
And they're just all over it, and basically the chemistry on screen between these two is palpable.
It's so
Everyone's
good.
loving it. They work
good.
so well together, and then they have this scene sort of on the way back down on the descent, where and she says, I'm completely and hopelessly in love with you, and it was one of those, soap romantic gushy moments, and he says it back and everyone squirms. What did you think?
I loved it.
We're loving it, aren't we?
Absolutely loved it. Every second of it. I loved it. I loved all the chat before that, when they were talking about like when they were kids and Flick was talking about getting a school trip to the seaside and she wasn't allowed to go in the water and she couldn't swim and all that sort of stuff. And Tane was talking about how he could swim from like the age dot and how he was scared of rivers, and it was so sweet. It was just such a normal, those kind of chats you do have when you're dating, don't you? You talk about your childhood and you talk about your fears and your dreams and stuff. So it was just, I just loved every minute of that whole scene. It was just lovely.
Yeah, it was really well written, and gave us a glimpse of Felicity and Cash's sort of childhood. City kids. Only real chance to get to the water was these trips, as you say. So you just getting snippets of someone's background. Perfect way to do it. And you're right. These are the everyday conversations you have when you meet someone. It was a breath of fresh air for these two because they are hot. They're the it couple. They've been all about hooking up and the sex up to now. So to see how they've progressed onto this connection type deeper level.
Yeah.
They're definitely taking the audience with us to
Yeah,
that level.
definitely.
Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? You know, we've gone from ogling at them and
Yeah.
thinking they're great together
Yeah.
to, oh, I really like them as a couple, you
Yeah.
know,
They're
because
a
of
proper
stuff like that.
couple. They're a
Yeah.
proper couple, aren't they? Because they've got like loads of stuff in common. They love spending time with each other, but it's like it's not just about the bedroom. They, you know, they do have deeper, meaningful conversations. They do talk about stuff about themselves, and I just really like them together. I mean, when you compare them to a couple like Jasmine and Cash, who just seem to talk about work and it's, do you know what I mean? It's just a bit dull with them.
Mm.
Whereas with Tani and Flick, it feels like it's a proper relationship. You're like you've anyone that's been in a relationship, it feels similar, doesn't it? It feels kind of like relatable, I guess.
Yeah, we feel like we're going on it with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, oh, this is getting good. Oh,
yeah,
you know,
definitely.
and I tell you what, if they mess with them, we're gonna be coming for them, aren't we?
I can't
You know what I
cope with
mean?
that.
But
Do you know
you know,
what? I've really loved the whole. This is like a transformation of Flick as well, because you know when she first got here, she was like party girl. She was wild. She was, you know, putting up a front basically, wasn't she? Because she was really vulnerable behind all that facade. You know, this horrible backstory with a dad who she thought had been murdered and all of this sort of stuff, and that was all a front for keeping us, you know, sane. And
that's so true.
This backstory that she had where she had a breakdown and all that sort of stuff, and she's, you know, all that vulnerability. But
and Little House of Horrors.
and Little House of Horrors and all, and that was heartbreaking, that whole thing, like being set up and all of that sort of stuff. But seeing her in a relationship and still being vulnerable but relaxed about it, you know, she's not putting up a front anymore. She's just Flick. It's so nice to see the real Flick, I think.
Yeah, I completely agree. You and I were in, you know, we dived in. We're in the Tenacity pool here, and we're swimming.
Oh yeah,
we're treading water.
Yeah,
give it to us. Give us more. Give us more. So in a week of returns, you know, because it is definitely the theme of this week in Home and Away. Everybody's descended back to the bay.
Yeah.
Theo and Leah are back from visiting his mother.
Yeah.
Dimitri hot in tow. Maybe he's got Theo on Find My Phone app or something.
Oh God.
You know, he's hot on their heels.
Yeah.
You know, John's on watch. You know, he's ringing everybody. I've just seen Dimitri down the beach. You know? And I did like, you know, he sort of said to Ryder, you know, he's going through something, you know, and Ryder's like, oh, somebody else I've got to babysit, you know, because Ryder's playing with the big boys now, you know.
Yeah, his suit, going into Salt in his suit. He got the Mickey taken out of him for that, didn't he? I thought he looked great.
Yeah, he did. Very dapper, very guapo.
Yes, yeah, very.
But yeah, but I thought that was nice, and he actually followed through with it. You know, he went to visit Theo, didn't he? And was like, "So you want a brew?" Well, he actually, before he goes to visit him, Dimitri's got there before him, and it escalated from nothing. Like,
yeah, it did.
Literally nothing.
That guy is hot-headed, like really hot-headed, to the point of just I wanted to punch him myself. Just no. Is he doing your head in?
Well, I think and he picks up the guitar and he's having a go. Get it, you know, come with me. Who was it? I can't remember who said it now. I mean, you know, all his family now know what's been going on. His wife's left him. His kids refused him to speak to him. The whole Leah and him have been doing the tour of the family and telling everyone how awful he is. You can understand he's probably feeling a proper, you know.
Yeah.
I know this sounds awful, but I do sort of feel a bit for him in that respect, even though he's doing what he's doing. Do you know what I mean? And I know I feel strange saying that out loud.
I was going to say, I don't feel sorry for him at all. I'm just like,
don't get me wrong. I'm not condoning anything, right?
Yeah.
But you know, he's sort of losing control of it all, isn't he? He's had control over everything for so long.
Yeah.
Over everybody, that everything's sort of crumbling beneath him, and he probably feels a bit like, what do I do now? You know, and he's not thinking straight, and he's running around chasing Theo and not really thinking about it. not condoning what he does, and it doesn't take him long to sort of pick some up and looks like he's going to whack Theo with the
I
guitar or
know.
something. And just as Ryder arrives, you know,
Yeah.
in the nick of time, so Ryder's like, So Theo off screen confides in Ryder, and
Yeah.
bless him, he supports him, doesn't he?
Yeah. Again, another really nice scene, because I think, I don't know, we could have had it so that Ryder went round and didn't see anything, and Theo opened up to him, but I think it was important for Ryder to see it, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
Especially as they have been, you know, so close, really.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or they grew close, that
Yeah.
through the challenges and whatnot. And I think Ryder needs that explanation, much like we did.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
as to why Theo's a bit of a tool.
Yeah.
or was behaving like he was.
Yeah.
I think Ryder needed that explanation, just because we know, we sometimes assume the characters know everything,
Yeah.
and of course Ryder's not had anything to do with any of this. You
No.
know,
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
and event and you know what I thought was really another example of sort of Theo showing how he's matured over the last few weeks is he rings and agrees to meet up with his dad to talk.
Yeah.
And I thought, you know, obviously he's walking into a bit of a trap here, but I thought Theo's not giving up on him, even though despite everything,
Yeah.
you know, he's not giving up on his dad, you know, and he goes and hears him out. And I thought that was really big of him, actually. What did you think?
I thought it was actually a really important storyline as well, because I think when the physical abuse is involved a lot of the time, there is this emotional abuse as well, which is exactly what his dad was doing in that episode, that scene in Salt, where he was saying, "Oh, I only do this because I love you and I care about you, and I want the best for you, and I want you to have a better future than me." That's all emotional manipulation, emotional abuse, and that's just as bad as somebody physically abusing you. It's messing with your head. It's making you think, oh, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm the bad person. Maybe this person is trying to be good for me and do the best for me and all of that sort of stuff. And that is just as important for us to see as the actual physical abuse of him as well, because there'll be a lot of kids out there that are going through one or the other, or maybe both, like Theo is. And it's important to know that it's not okay. That's not how families are. That's not normal behaviour. And I just think it's a really good storyline. I'm just totally team Theo all the way now.
I know. I agree. I thought it was really good of Theo to go. And I think it's really important for the audience to see, particularly the younger age that watch, although it can be anybody, you know, that is a victim of emotional manipulation and things. But, you know, just to see how easy it is for someone to get in, you know, and to control somebody, really, and to change how they feel and think, or you know, inform them of how they should think and feel about something. In that sort of using that emotion and that it's because I care, it's because I'm your father, I've got the best for you. And you know, and you're gonna think, oh, well, of course he has, he's my father, you know, exactly. So it must be right, you know. And Leah and Justin see through it the next day over breakfast or something, and he sort of announces, you know, he's gonna meet him again, and Leah just calls it as it is. You know, that you can always count on Leah for doing that. You know, he's manipulating you, Theo. You know. We were saying last week about sort of we expected Leah to be a little bit more defensive of Dimitri. And she hasn't. She's really sort of embraced Theo, really, and although she's ashamed of Dimitri, she's for her the line is quite clear. It's black and white. You know, she probably, you know, she's a mother herself. You know, you just would not do that sort of stuff. So, you know, and it escalates again really fast when he turns up at the door because Theo doesn't want to go anymore. And Dimitri's a bit like, well, we thought we were getting somewhere yesterday, so of course he kicks off again. You know, and it's the words. And this is what sort of, you know, catapults or catalysts what happens next. You know, Theo says to him, "Justin's being a better dad than you." you've ever
Ooh,
been.
yeah.
And that's going to hit a man in the gut, you
Uh,
know?
yeah, I mean, he might well think that, but yeah, it was probably too much for him to hear, wasn't it? I guess.
You know, because in Dimitri's eyes, he's caring.
Yeah,
He's doing it because he loves him and he wants the
yeah,
best for him and he wants him to
yeah,
grow up and be like him. You know, he used to be the clown, but now he's the center. You know,
yeah,
that's his way of showing all that. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
it's wrong.
yeah,
So
yeah. He had that relationship with his dad, didn't he? So it sounds like he had an abusive relationship, whether that's physical as well as emotional abuse, like Theo. He might have heard this from his dad. You know, I only hit you because I care about you.
yeah,
Doesn't,
yeah.
yeah.
It's all a proper hot mess, isn't it?
Yeah,
Proper hot mess. And of course, the red mist descends.
yeah.
Dimitri goes to the garage and knocks Justin out cold.
Oh, I was not happy about this. I was kind of
I
surprised
was
as well
like,
because I think I said to you last week, I was like, can he even reach Justin? Because let's be honest, like Dimitri is like a little terrier, isn't he? He's tiny, like a little Jack Russell or something. And obviously, Justin's like a Labrador. So I was like, how is he going to punch him? But he was so cowardly. He kind of did it while Justin's back was turned, really, didn't he?
yeah,
And kind of
yeah,
launched himself at him and smacked him in
yeah.
the face. So
He sort of took a run up and when he was
yeah,
worst expecting it.
yeah.
It was some punch, despite in tonight's 5-star episode, him sort of saying he barely touched him. I thought you literally
Mm.
ran at him.
You ran, you ran
Uh,
over like a bull.
He's not Justin out cold.
Yeah.
He's wound up in hospital after Leah finding him.
Oh, thank God. Yeah.
I know. Justin wakes up from being knocked out the same as me the morning after recording this.
Do you know what made me laugh? When he said, I need all the brain cells I can get. And I was like, oh, yeah, you do, Justin. Bless it. It's like that bit in Forrest Gump when you go, oh, he knows he's stupid.
I know.
Bless.
Pat him on the head.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah. And he doesn't give a statement to the police. You know,
No.
he's going to be fine. He's got a bit of brain swelling, a bit of concussion. It's going to be fine. He's had a fit in hospital, looked a bit dramatic on the promo, but he's going to be fine.
Yeah.
And, you know, Theo sort of goes to his dad and it's like, why did you do this? And he's like, get in the car. Da, da, da. Overseen by Cash.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Cop extraordinaire, like what's going on, hurls them both down to Yabba Creek PD.
Yeah.
And basically he knows something's not right, tries to get it out of Theo, but he's not giving anything up at that moment. But that's just at the time that Leah has decided that she is going to turn up and report him.
Yeah.
So now we've ended the week. Everyone's telling the police now. Theo, Leah, they're all telling the police that this isn't the first time he's hit someone. So thoughts, feelings, where do we go from here? He's going to get arrested, isn't he? It's got to be.
It's got to be. I got a little bit choked up actually because you know when Cash had Theo in the like the room, the interrogation room, I guess, and he kind of missed a trick. He put him facing the window, so he was staring right out at his dad, wasn't he, while he was talking to him?
Yeah.
I thought, he's never going to talk with him looking at him like that.
Yeah, I thought the exact same
Shut
thing.
the blinds or make him sit on the other side of the table. So I thought, oh, here we go. He's not going to say a word. And then when he had the courage to say, you know, my dad's lying, he's done this to me, I actually got a little lump in my throat because I was like, bless him, I bet he's never said that, you know, properly out loud. Never mind to a copper where he knows this is serious now. So yeah.
First time he's had to admit it, and in front of him, I think he knows what a proud person his dad is.
Yeah.
So this isn't gonna. It's not going to end well. A hot mess, like we've said, is a perfect way to describe it. It's going to get arrested. It's not going to calm down. He'll probably get bailed, won't he? He's only had.
Yeah, well, he said, I don't know whether this is an important plot point, but he said to Cash, like, check my rap sheet. I don't have one, didn't he?
Right. Okay. So yeah, he'll probably get bail, and and then obviously things will probably continue to be a problem for all. Wouldn't it be great if Leah just said to the other brothers, come and sort him out?
Yes, because there's at least two more, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Brothers? Yeah. Where are they?
Yeah. So wouldn't it be great if
Yeah.
she said, because that kind of family would do that. They'd
Yeah.
all be involved,
Absolutely. Yeah.
So Rue and Irene are back from Marimbula as well. Alf and Martha have followed. Rue's
Oh,
confused by that,
yeah.
and we
I
learn
was.
I was. We learn quite quickly that there's been a bit of a ruckus at the hospital. Alf's turfed Rue out. Now, we've been saying, Rue just go there, and we think it's because Alf doesn't really want her down there. It's going to
Yeah.
stress everybody out. So it
Yeah.
looks like that was the case.
Mm.
And Rue quickly like, what are you doing here, And Martha looks crook as rookwood, doesn't she?
She does. I love that phrase.
She does not look good.
No, she doesn't. It's a bit grey.
Yeah. And, Rue's quickly on it. She suspects she doesn't have the whole story. She chats to Irene about it, and Irene's like, oh, doll, everything's were a bit heated when we left. Maybe she just wants to, put things right with you. There's this lunch, isn't there? And you get the Barbie going.
Another one.
Yeah. Times get tough. Fire the Barbie on. And and they're all sitting down and they're all fussing and this little comments and it's all a bit awkward. Rue's just like cottoning on. Something's not been on. So she just says, Mum, just tell me.
Yeah.
And she says, well, I didn't really want to, just come out with it. She's like, just tell me.
Yeah.
And she's changed her mind about the
You were
operation.
right again. You were right about Ziggy and the poker night. You were right about Martha's kidney as well.
I did say that I thought it would happen, like I did in my defense, your defense. Yeah. I did say that Rue would come back having had it done. Do you know what I mean? So I wasn't quite right, but it just doesn't make sense for this to be Martha's end.
Yeah.
After just getting her back.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. I'm happy because if it means that we get a bit more Alf, I'm always going to be happy with that. I don't actually care about Martha. Is that bad? I don't really care whether she dies or not, but I don't want Alf to be sad.
When Alf was chatting to Martha on his own and was like, when are you going to tell her or whatever conversation he had, I thought,
yeah.
And then when we actually learned what it was she was going to tell her, I thought, they're making this out to be something bad.
I know, I thought that as well. It was a proper clickbait type thing, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like, watch the next episode. I will.
I'm
already there.
Don't worry. I need to for the podcast.
Yeah.
Just tell me. I thought, she died. Is she dying?
That's what I thought as well.
Does she know something we don't? And I thought, when it ended up, I thought,
yeah.
Do we know? I'm not very trusting now. I'm like, do we know the full? Is that the full story? Do you know what I mean?
I think it is. I think maybe they're just thinking that it was a bit presumptuous that Rue would still want to give her the kidney after everything that's happened. Maybe that was, I don't know, like maybe they came down to sort of soften her up and be like, okay, let's be friends because asking for someone's kidney is not a small thing, is it? And if you've just fallen out with them, it feels a bit weird to rock up and go, by the way, can I have your kidney?
Yeah.
So I think it was just that. I don't know. I could be wrong, but that's how I've read
but
it.
all the reasons Martha gave, I couldn't do it to you. You're my daughter.
Yeah, but did you notice who she didn't mention?
Go on.
Go back and watch that scene again because she says, I couldn't leave you and your father.
Yeah.
Who else is she leaving if she dies?
But Kieran.
Yeah, he didn't even mention Kieran. I was like, and what? I actually went to the screen. And what about Kieran? Out of sight, out of mind.
Exactly. Problem child.
I know.
Problem child.
I've never been offended for Kieran before, but there we go.
Do you know what I'm gonna make up and I haven't read anything about this. Everyone listening will probably think, he always gets it right because he reads stuff. I haven't read anything about this, right? And that is God's honest truth. I think it's going to be too little, too late. That's going to be the drama. Let's do it, but okay, you've missed your window, or you know, there's going to be some. It's not going to be as easy as they both go in and have it done now. It's not
Well,
going to be quite as easy as that.
I guess you can do the transplant, but your body can still reject it. There's still a chance that either she could die during the operation or she can die because her body rejects the kidney.
Martha's getting on a bit, isn't she? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So I don't think it's going to be quite plain. It's not going to be over now. Like they both go in, they come out, and that's that. You know,
Mm,
I think there's going to be because there was a bit. If we rewind right the way back to when all this was kicking off,
yeah.
there were comments made about needing to make a decision fast, needing
Yeah.
to.
Yeah.
I can't remember exactly what it was now, but it was like Rue was like, "I'm here, I'm a ready donor, a match, and you've not got time." You know,
Well,
so
she's
I
got other
feel.
complications now, hasn't she? Because didn't Logan say recently? I'm sure he rattled off like 3 different organs that she's got problems with her heart, obviously her
Mhm,
kidney. I'm sure he mentioned liver as well.
mhm.
Like the stuff, the knock-on effect of it, you
Yeah.
know.
I mean, well, yeah, she looks dreadful. So
She does, bless her. She doesn't look
let's
good.
see. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think it's going to be plain sailing. You
No.
know, I feel like there's going to be a bit of an issue about the time frame here, and it
And
being a bit.
who's doing the op? Is it going to be Logan? And is it going to be the day he finds out about the poker night? Is he going to be off his game?
To get that hand drill out that. Remember when Tori decided to do some brain surgery? Just drill a hole in his
With
head.
a Black and Decker. Oh no! Oh no! He's gonna get his corkscrew out. His can opener. Just got me can opener. Just
Come on, love, let's get that kidney out. Mm.
I don't know. I hope it's not the day he finds out about Max poker night. That would be
No.
bad.
Nope. Because he's gonna be mad.
Yeah. I'll have that kidney out in 2 seconds. Oh god.
And Rose, just to top off the returns, Rosie's back and she interrupts a volleyball match between, you know, newfound happy family Jasmine and Xander.
Yeah.
And she's still got reservations, Rose. She's come back probably because she's got a bit of FOMO, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, and annoyingly, she's not getting on with Jasmine,
No.
but she is with Cash. And honestly,
I know.
it's really doing my head in.
Oh no. I thought about you. I bet you're screaming at the TV.
I can't cope.
Oh,
I can't cope
no.
because I feel like we're heading to a bit of like an infidelity type situation here.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a kiss or a moment or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just gonna really, really bug me. I hope I'm wrong. But there's just too much of it. It's everywhere.
I don't think you are wrong because I think tonight's 5-star episode was what put the nail in the coffin on that for me. Was she was sitting in the diner with Jasmine and Xander, and they were being all pally and they're, oh, I love fish and chips. Oh, I love fish and chips. And she was like, oh, I'm surprised. And she was being a bit of a, negative Nelly. And then she perked up as soon as Cash walked in, like a personality change, like the drop of a hat.
Yeah.
And I just was like, oh, you're a joke. Because I was kicking myself. They're doing the opposite to me. So when Theo turned up, was not a fan. And then now I'm like Team Theo. When Rose and Xander turned up, I liked both of them. And now I'm quickly going off Rose.
Yeah, Rose, I'm struggling with Rose out of the two.
Yeah.
And I think it's because of the story.
Yeah.
Obviously I'm Team Jazz, you know.
Yeah.
That scene you're talking about at the diner as well, where Cash came in, did you see when he kissed Jazz and she looked,
yeah.
she gave a right dirty look, didn't she?
She did. She's jealous. I think she's jealous of Xander and Jasmine getting close. And then she's jealous that Jasmine's got Cash, isn't she? She just wants to be Jasmine.
Absolutely. Now and I'm not the only one who's getting things right. When you said, is it a power struggle? Yeah, you said, is it a power struggle?
Yeah.
And it just that moment where they're all trying to pay the bill.
Yeah.
And I was saying, Sophie was right. She wants to pay the bill. She wants to be that, we were the ones having lunch, I'll pay for this. And in the end, Xander ended up going, I'll get this on then. We're just going to sit here and argue, you know.
Yeah.
And then Irene waves a car machine at him.
Yeah.
You know, so I think you're right. I think she feels like, and it was a very quick off the cuff comment, like Jasmine's replacing her.
Yes. Yeah, because she's always been the older sister, and now they've
Mm.
got another older sister.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So I think she's feeling a bit sidelined, and I think that's the only reason she's come back to the Bay.
Oh
You know,
yeah. Yeah.
because she's realised that they're
Yeah.
getting close, and then there's this weird, convenient job come up at the hospital. So Jasmine's like, go for it, which obviously he will do.
Yeah.
So, and it just takes one conversation with Rose, with Cash.
Yes.
And I like it when Cash sort of says, "Oh, you don't like her," and it's like, she's a bit indecisive. Like,
like you.
oh, because it just took her a little while to come round to the idea that she's got siblings. You can't blame the girl.
No, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they had a heads up. I mean, they got a shock as well, but they had a heads up. They decided to, track her down. Jasmine just completely got blindsided by it. So of course she's going to be like, "What on earth is going on?"
But that conversation just leads to her putting a transfer in.
Yeah, I know.
So they're all moving the job. It's all a bit. Oh, she's coming to town to keep tabs. She's not coming.
It's so convenient that they're police officers and paramedics, because where else would they work?
Super convenient.
There's a hospital and a police department. Brilliant. It's I don't know. It's feeling a little bit contrite. Is that the right word? I don't know.
Yeah. It's sloppy writing.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a bad way. It's just, it's really fast, and it's really, it's just,
yeah.
Because we've praised how good the writing is for other stuff this week, and this bit just seems to be a bit surface level and a bit like, okay, it's very plotty.
Yeah.
We need to give them a reason to want to stay in the Bay. The job's the obvious reason.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll make him work at the hospital. We'll make her work there. We don't know really anything about them, do we?
No.
So yeah, it's very convenient.
Contrived to me.
Yeah,
but...
and a little bit unbelievable.
Yeah.
But never mind. He's a paramedic. That conversation on the beach with Logan, and he's like, "Oh, you're a nurse as well." I'm head of ED. Like, oh, sorry, mate.
He isn't just head of ED though, is he? Because he's surgeon extraordinaire. He's PTSD counsellor man. He's everything.
Everything and more.
Yeah, Mr. Helicopter. Dr. Danger.
I just feel like we're heading to some sort of, big bust up here, and it'd be a shame. And I don't think we're ever going to find out what was in the will. What's Jasmine left? We're never going to find out.
What's the money situation? I'm dying to know.
Again, it's sloppy. The whole thing's a bit sloppy, isn't it? You know what I mean? And all these questions are important to us. So
yeah.
There we go. Right, that brings us to the end. We did well there, Sophie, to get through that in the time that we did.
Wasn't bad.
Time for first look, though, which could be just as long.
You're so right.
Are you ready to find out what's coming up? Because I am. Because
ready.
Loving it. And what we're going to be talking about on the next episode. Now, I know you love this bit, but I'm going to do this because it's a really nice episode number. Monday, episode 7,777.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
Can you let me have that one?
Yeah.
Jasmine and Rosie's game of volleyball becomes a fierce competition with many spectators.
Oh, God.
Maybe it's the ones that like to watch Ryder walk on coal.
Oh, it might be, because there was a lot of riders turned up randomly. Yeah.
I do like that sort of caravan park sort of setup where people who are staying are playing volleyball with strangers and meeting people and backpackers and stuff. It's quite a nice setup, isn't it?
We don't see it enough, actually, to be honest.
Yeah.
I wish we saw more of the... We seem to be in Salt a lot. We seem to be in the diner a lot. We're not in the caravan park as much. Yeah.
Yeah, the caravan parks are a really good asset for people to pass through town.
Yeah.
Guest characters,
Yeah.
Weirdos, people that don't need to stick around too long that make us laugh, and think, waifs and strays. I'd like to see more of that. Martha's nerves wear thin as Alf continues to fuss over her.
Oh, God.
No changes there then, really, does it?
No.
Oh my God.
Uh-oh, spoiler?
No.
Oh.
But that's the end of First Look because there's no episode, no programme information available.
Oh no! I can get it online on freeview.co.uk, I think.
Is it there though? Doesn't look like it's been uploaded.
What? Let me have a look. How dare they do this to us? That was Monday, so Tuesday. Oh, it's all blank! Oh no!
Wait, got it. Mackenzie feels mounting pressure for her poker nights to be a success. So there's going to be more.
Going to be
More poker nights.
Mm.
She's got the bug. She's got them,
Yeah.
I mean, it does look fun.
It does, but the more you do, the more chance there is of it getting, the wrong
And
attention.
the stakes are going to get higher and higher, aren't they?
Yeah.
Was it Maka who said he foresees her bet in the restaurant on,
Yes. Yeah.
like get into something massive, and I think that would be a really good climax. Actually, I think he's probably foreseeing the future there.
Yeah.
Because that would be good. Martha and Rue receive unwelcome news.
Oh dear. Maybe you're right.
I think it is, isn't it?
Yeah, you're too late, mate.
Yeah. While meeting the transplant coordinator.
Oh dear.
Tane comes to see how Mia is faring, but her mind is elsewhere as she shrugs off an idea to teach PT sessions.
I thought she already did that. Doesn't she do that in the gym?
She's always doing a class or something, isn't she?
She's a personal trainer, isn't she? I thought she already was. Or have I lost something there?
No, I don't know.
Okay. Well, it sounds boring.
Yeah, moving on. Next. We're not. I've not got the time of day, have we?
No, sorry.
Dean investigates Mackenzie's rent non-payment.
Oh.
Is she in the apartment? Dean's not in the apartment now, is he? He's at the farm.
His name is on it though. Do you remember? Because when Logan moved in, Bella went straight to Dean and says, "Your name's on the lease. You can kick him out." And he goes, "Oh, I'm not going to do that, Bella."
Oh, so someone will have been in touch with him and said, "Oh, you've not paid your rent." Oh, bloody hell. Oh dear.
Mhm.
She's in it over her head.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks very much for listening to this week's episode of Coastal News. It's been a big week. So I'm going to take a minute to sort of digest what we've just discussed because it's been nuts. And everybody, as I say, is descended back to the bay. All the characters are back where they should be. So it's going to be a good few weeks, I reckon.
Yeah.
As always, you can catch us on Instagram and Twitter at Coastal News Pod on the hashtag Home and Away. We tweet along with the episodes during the week. Do join in the chat. Many of you do. We really enjoy it. It's our favourite part of this whole thing, other than chatting to each other every week. And also, just a quick one, the subscriber episode is up. The latest one, episode 11, includes us talking about Samara Weaving's recent comments about how things are handled behind the scenes of Home and Away, and they weren't too flattering, and I lost my rag a bit. So have a listen to that one. That is a good one. If you haven't subscribed, you can do by clicking the link in the episode description of this episode. It's 99p. You'll get access to all the bonus content, which includes Sophie's Scoop every week, where she talks about all sorts of stuff from behind the scenes of Home and Away, and also extra stuff that doesn't make it to these episodes, of which there is lots. So thank you very much, and we'll be back next week with a regular episode. As always, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.